All right. So sorry for that breaking transmission. It was due to network glitches. I know. I know. So in our last class, I noticed there was a little bit of an agitation as to the issue of how I do my retouch, and all. Um, okay, what I will do is I'll walk you through on just some simple basic steps that I do. So I'm going to share my Capture One screen. Now you can use for those of you that work with Lightroom, that's fine. But me personally, I love to work with Capture One um, for my work. So I will I will share my Capture One screen. So I don't know if we are seeing it. Um, Now this is my Capture One screen. As you can see, this is a wedding picture. Now I decided to use a wedding picture because I know a whole lot of us will dive into it. Will dive into more of weddings. So I chose to use a wedding picture so that we can I can be able to explain a few things. Now, normally I don't get to do much on my Capture One. I don't get to do much on my Capture One. So I adjust my chroma. Okay, the name of the app is called Capture One. Capture One. Capture One. Capture One. Capture One. So normally, so this picture was shot on a sunny the lens that was used. If you look at there, you see FE24 to 105 f4. That's the focal length. So that was what was used. So I just adjust my chromatic aberration depending on how distorted the picture is. So now, Capture One Pro. Capture One Pro. All right. So when it comes to my style, I prefer always use the Camera Pro standard this thing. Then my signature most times has always been on using film high contrast. Please, can you people hear me very well? You say my voice is breaking. The network, it's raining cats and dogs here. So the network is kind of listen, but I will try to keep adjusting. All right. So I use the my this is more like my signature. So I love high contrasts in my work. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So now we get here. Now I shot the work on 5,000 Kelvin. Now, but when the picture comes into Capture One, it shows you something like this. Now you can see this is an untouched picture. This is an untouched picture. Please, can you see my screen? Can you all? Okay, all right. So I have reshared my screen again. Now, I was saying that now this is a picture we are going to work on. Now, as you can see, I have made certain adjustments to my exposure, my contrast, my brightness. I didn't touch my saturation, my dynamic range. I didn't touch my highlights. I touched my shadows a bit. Then my whites and black, I touched it, to retain some of the intensity. Then I didn't touch my levels. I didn't touch my curves. I left it like that because I will definitely, I am definitely going to, I am definitely going to do that in Photoshop. So I left those ones. Now, what I just simply did, I changed my Kelvin to the original Kelvin setup that I used in my camera. Please, can you all see? Are you all still seeing my screen? Now, if you now take a good look at this picture now, you can see that all the values are in zeros. Now, this is what, if you look at the Kelvin, you will see that it's 4845. Now, I now have to bring it down to the actual level. So this is the now. Now, if I do Control Z, if I Control Z, you can now see that it has gone back to what it is. So basically, this is more than Capture One has some beautiful retouching what they call it, icons, where you can simply just touch the face, skin blemishes, and all those things. You can really make adjustments to it. For instance, like, let me show you. So let's see. So if we zoom into the picture, you can see. So now let's return it back. So you can see that this is its natural state. So Capture One really has some very good features that we can use. And me as a colorist, I prefer using Capture One. So now what I now do is, so let me turn back everything. Okay. So now in my cropping, the standard for Instagram is 4:5. That is, excuse me, that is the standard for Instagram. So as you can see, it's already on 4:5. On 4:5 now. So what I just simply did now, what this is what I would I was already working on. Remember what I said about the rule of third. The rule of third will always work for you if you know how to use it. Now, so I now say edit with Photoshop. So you can see the values, resolution 300. Please always change your color spacing profile, Instead of Adobe, we don't really have screens that can handle Adobe RGB 1999. So All right, so I will share my screen on Photoshop right away. So let's get to Photoshop. Let's get to Photoshop. Now, this is my Photoshop screen. We've we've exported to Photoshop for editing. Now, this is what my setup looks like on Photoshop with my action. Now, these are my actions. Now, these actions actually help me. Like some of the actions I created, some actions I downloaded, some I bought and added. So some of these actions help me to fast track my work rather than going through a whole lot of a whole lot of long process. The the actions help me to fast track certain things and make simple adjustments. I hope you all can hear me very well. All right, so now if we didn't take now that this picture on Photoshop was taken on an on ISO on ISO 1600 with shorter speed of 200 of a second, then f4. That was the values. So with these values, it will now help me decide on what ratio I would use for my frequency separation. Now, before then, what do? I first and foremost I take care of some background issues. Um, so I use the patch tool. I use the patch tool. So I hope you all can see my screen. So I'm very careful so that I don't. This can take a whole lot of time making sure that the background is clean. But if you're patient enough, you reap the fruits of your patience. You can see that I'm very on how where I collect data from um to so I zoom out Now, I also want to say something. I know that there are some of us that still make use of mouse to edit, but for me, the best tool is a graphic tablet. As an editor, a professional editor, you can't. It is not advisable to make use of mouse. In fact, there are studios you will go to, and if you bring mouse, they would not employ you to be their editor. So please try to get a graphic tablet for yourself. Wacom, precisely. Thank you. So let's get back. Please, did you all hear what I said about graphic tablets? There are graphic tablets that are not so expensive, that are not so so okay. Now you can see that. So you can see. All right. Can you all hear me now? Can you all hear me now? All right. So back to what we're doing. So I pick my value. I pick my radius. Now I don't want to see I just want to see a little bit of the skin texture and with the body almost disappearing. So what I do is that I pick 0.8. You can see that The eyes almost disappeared. The eyes is almost disappeared, but you can still see a little bit of the texture. So then I now do a balancing of 1.2. Now, this is your high frequency. I'm sure a whole lot of us are conversant with frequency separation. So now where I edit on is on the correcting tones. I switch off my high frequency texture and put it on my correcting tone. All right. I pick my mixer brush too. Now, in my okay, I will send an image of the graphic tablets once we are done. I don't want us to get distracted over that. I will send a picture of it. I'll send a picture of it. Just let's finish this basic part. Now, my values that I use, my the values that I use is my wet is 20%, my load 20%, my mix is 20%, flow is 20%, and I still have my harmony at 18%. So with wedding pictures, please, with wedding pictures, you don't do much. You don't do much. You don't do much, please, so that you can see how I maximize and minimize my brush to enter into as I blend. What I'm doing is to blend the face. So you can see the after. Sorry. Now you see, I made a mistake. I didn't turn off my high frequency texture. So what I just simply did, I went to that place that I kind of the I had an issue. I just turned it off from there and continued from that spot. That's why you should always observe. You should always observe your history. So you can see I'm very careful so that I do not touch her lips. So this is the before, this is the before, and this is the after. So I move up. Now this neck can be a little bit tricky. Yeah, I'm still, I'm with you. I'm with you. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? All right. So I had to be silent. So I had to be silent so that I could focus and finish the frequency separation quickly. So I zoom out, I see what I have, then I zoom back in again. So as I do this, and I am very careful so that I don't make the picture, I don't take away the originality of the picture by now making it look so plastic. Okay, I think that's about that. So this is the before, and this is the after. You can see that the picture it's in each state. Now I do Control Alt Shift E. For Mac users, you do Command Option Shift E. Now this is where now I get to use more of my actions because I don't want to do much. Now I just tend to apply what I call what I call, tag as my color brilliance. Now my color brilliance is simply my vibrance boost and my desaturation. So you can see, as you can see. So for someone that is fair, I like to keep my values to somewhere around 60. Then so if you recall what I said the last time, that I'm someone that I like to put noise in my work, but it's a very subtle noise. So as I said, this is more like the basics of all basics. The main thing I wanted to show you is the frequency separation. Now you now see that my rule of third has played out properly in this picture now. I've played out my rule. I now applied my rule of third here. It's now a complete portrait. I export. So that's that. I this is just more like a I elementary stage of how I do editing. I There are times I go in depth. I can go further. What makes you a creative editor is your ability to know when to go further and just know when to leave the picture the way it is. As I said, this is a wedding picture. You you try to avoid doing too much so that you don't make the bride look very plastic. You don't make the bride look very plastic. Then someone I'm going I'm going to for the sake of this class, I'm going to do something how to I can go further. Now um now what I want to do in that picture now is I want to add more texture. I want to add texture, more texture to the work. So I simply drag
All right, I'm sorry for the interruption. We are having a little technical challenge. All right, so please hold on a minute. Let's restore power and continue the class. We are really sorry about that. I'm so sorry. Hello everyone, please in a bit, classes will be starting now.
Scrubbing is different. In fact, you will scrub. You will scrub. In, in the meantime, you also get used to it. Now, to answer the question of someone that talked about graphic tablets, so let me quickly um, so So this is what a graphic tablet. This is the one that so this is the graphic tablet. There are medium ones. There are medium ones. Okay. No, not yet. I'm showing them something.
Trying something new doesn't need to be as scary as we make it out to be. I remember getting my first Wacom Bamboo back in 2011, and I left it in the box for 3 months. I was scared to move from the mouse to this new device that I just got gifted for my birthday. And then one day, I decided to give it a try. I was terrible. I didn't know what I was doing, and all I did was make scribbles to see how it reacted with an Illustrator. It took a little time to get used to.
Okay. Mr. Adewara Francis said that I don't have any knowledge on the use of Adobe, so everything still feels like magic. Always, it's there is you will start from the scratch. I have a full guide. I have a full guide on the use of Photoshop from scratch to finish. Understanding Photoshop, understanding Adobe Photoshop, everything you need to know about Photoshop. I have a full guide on it. So we would see how to get it to some of us so that we can start learning. So that's what I said. We would see how we will see how to get I'll see how to get it across. So I want to treat something very quickly with us. I think we have basically if let's just say 35 minutes schedule. 35 minutes or 40 minutes to go. Okay, for the price of the camera tablet, of the graphic tablet, please go to camera joint. Go to camera joint on Instagram. That is like our go-to online store for anything and everything photography. Go to camera joint. Go to camera joint. Ask, you see how much. Yes, camera joint. Yes, exactly the way it is on Instagram. On Instagram. Yes. No. So let's get to our class for today. The photography best practices and the business of photography. The slides are up right now, so from the random shots to consistent profile results, from hobby photography to profitable photography business. Everything you need to know to shoot with skill and earn with confidence. So imagine this moment: two photographers stand at the same location in Lagos, same camera, same subject, same light. One produces an ordinary snapshot, the other produces an image that captures emotion, tells a story, attracts clients, and earns money. What makes the difference? It's not the camera. It's not the camera. It's not luck. It's the knowledge, skill, workflow, and business strategy. Photography is not just about taking pictures. It's about controlling light, shaping perception, and creating value. When you understand how to shoot professionally and how to run photography as a business, you can creatively you turn Trinity into income. Not like a a normal thing. I'll just come take pictures and I will consider it to be fine. So I went into full-time photography January 10, 2015. And since then, I have been doing photography exclusively. I have gone for different forms of training. I've gone for trainings, I've gone for workshops. I keep updating myself at every opportunity I get. I'm always doing a I'm always doing a research on YouTube. So when the difference between you and a paparazzi is the in-depth knowledge you have about the profession. That's what makes the difference. So introduction to professional photography. Professional photography goes far beyond owning a good camera. It is the disciplined combination of technical mastery, creative vision, and consistent client-focused delivery. What is professional photography? Professional photography is a combination of multiple disciplines. Excuse me. So can we now see the slide? Are we now seeing the slides now? Someone said he wasn't seeing the slide. So I was saying something. But professional photography is a combination of multiple disciplines working together seamlessly. A professional does not rely on luck. They engineer great results every time in any environment for any client. It takes technical skill, creative vision, light control, editing workflow, client delivery for you to be a professional photographer. So Characteristics of a professional photographer. One, on the technical side of things, understand camera settings deeply. ISO, we all talked about all this in our previous classes. Control lighting intentionally, not accidentally. Compose images with purpose and strategy. Maintain a clear, repeatable editing workflow. Now, here's one thing I want to say here. If you have not developed a level of consistency where you have become an authority in a particular thing, that even with your eyes closed you can't, as in you can't repeat that particular thing, then you are not yet a professional. You're not yet a professional. On the professional side, deliver consistent results regardless of the shooting environment, meet deadlines always, understands and manage client expectations from the first conversation, price their work based on value, not guesswork. Now, the meeting of deadlines is still relevant when it comes to the client. What he expects of you is to deliver what he wants. It's what he wants that matters. It is his satisfaction that matters. The gap between an amateur and a professional is not just technical, it is behavioral and strategic. Consistency, reliability, and communication are what turn timetable clients into loyal advocates. There are 5 foundations of every great shot. Before pressing the shutter on the assignment, on any assignment, whether in wedding in Abuja, a product shoot in Lagos, or a portrait session in Port Harcourt, ask yourself these 5 questions. They will improve your image quality instantly. Subject, light. What is the main subject? Is it clearly the focal point of the frame? Light, where is the light coming from? Is it flattering or unflattering for the subject? Background, is the background clean and supporting the subject, or is it distracting? Camera settings, are your ISO, aperture, and shutter speed set correctly for this scene? Decisive moments, are you ready to capture the exact moment that tells the story? Photo editing best practices. Editing is not cheating. It is the final stage of the photographic process. Every professional image you admire has been carefully refined in post-production. The question is not whether to edit the question, but how to edit with intention. What makes you stand out as a professional? What makes you stand out as a professional is not how much skill, the amount of skill that you know. You can go for classes for you can go to class and learn from Emmanuel Oyeleke, from someone like Kelechi Amadiobi, from someone like Tosin Junaid, T.Y. Bello. If you've not used these lectures to build a level of consistency in your work, that when clients get to see your work, they don't see that you're using color palette 12 in one picture and you're using color palette 20 in most other pictures. They see a level of consistency in your work, in your growth as a photographer. Yes, the kind of work you do, the journey of photography you do speaks for itself. So you build that organized workflow for yourself, that at the end the result still stays the same. Professional photography workflow. Every professional assignment, from a corporate headshot session in Victoria Island to a destination wedding in Enugu, follows the same 5-stage workflow. Master this and you will never miss a deadline or lose a client. Planning, photo shoot, selection, editing, and delivery. This is it. When it comes to planning, you work out a client, you get hold of your client's brief, location scout, equipment prep, shortlist. You execute your shoot, and that, even in the condition, if it is raining, try to see how you can walk through the rain, or you can cancel the shoot when you know that you cannot get the best results. You move the shoot to the next day, rather than executing a shoot and making a mess out of it. The client makes his he or she makes his selection. Are you with me? Editing and delivery on time. So, the business of photography. Your camera captures images. Your business strategy captures income. In Nigeria's growing creative economy, photographers who understand both sides of their craft build careers that last. There is the creative side of it and there's the business side of it. You need to understand the business side of photography for you to make money out of photography. You need to really understand your market to see how best. Now, there are locations that if you try to do things like landscape, you won't make money out of it. For instance, there are locations you will stay, and if you try to do food photography, you may not make money out of it. So study the business side of photography. So photography as a business. Nigeria's photography industry is booming. From Lagos fashion shoot and Abuja corporate events to destination weddings and Nollywood productions, the demand for quality visual content has never been higher. The question is, are you positioned to capture? Are you ready to capture? Have you been positioned? Have you fine-tuned yourself and you're ready to capture? Wedding photography, one of the highest earning niches in Nigeria, with traditional and white wedding covers. Yes, it's one of the highest pay paid niches, but it comes with a lot. Product photography, high demand from Nigerian e-commerce brands, fashion labels, and FMCG companies. Corporate photography, serving banks, NGO, government agencies, and multinational across Nigeria. Fashion photography, supporting Nigeria's thriving fashion and entertainment industry. The fashion industry and the beauty industry can never stop growing, especially the beauty industry. Every day, makeup products are coming up, and that is how they are, and that is how it is being applied on models. So you cannot go wrong if you become a fashion photographer or a beauty photographer or the both. So you choose your photography niche. Trying to photograph everything is one of the most common early career mistakes. Yes, I'm a living witness to this because I made that mistake. I tried to photograph. I was doing food. I did landscape. I did almost every of the niche until until I went until life hit me and I understood, and I began to develop a niche which is in the area of portraiture and wedding photography. So so generally struggle to stand out. Specialists build authority, charge more, and attract better clients. Your niche is the intersection of three powerful forces: interest, skill, market demand, sweet spot. The interest, passion for subject; the sweet spot, niche with high viability; the market demand, clients in Nigeria willing to pay; the skill, technical expertise. When your interest, skill, and market demand align, you have found your niche. In other words, when your skill begins to fetch the required connections, you begin to receive clients that want your work, then you've succeeded. So, how photographers make money? Professional photographers have multiple revenue streams available to them, and the most successful one in Nigeria really depends on just one. Diversifying your income protects your business during slow seasons. So, how do they make money? Photo sessions, event coverage, product shoots, image licensing, technical teaching photography, social media content. So, choose wisely. Choose how do you intend to make your money. You want to go into event photography, you're welcome. You want to do um products, portrait sessions, then at some point when you must have grown to a level then where you can begin to teach photography, then it's another niche. Like me, I love teaching. I love teaching photography. So it's part of my niche. Pricing your photography services. What are the factors in your into what are the factors to consider in your pricing? Time shooting, hours on location or in the studio, editing time, equipment cost, skill level, market demand, usage right. For me, what I say is, you're paying for my experience. Everything down here is experience. Editing time, equipment cost. These are all your experience. So let's go to the underpricing trap. Many Nigerian photographers starting out to make the mistake of charging 5,000 for a full portrait session just to get clients. This creates a dangerous cycle. You attract price-sensitive clients, work long hours for little pay, and have no budget to invest in better equipment or growth. And this is true. When you're starting off as a photographer, please be careful how you set your pricing. For instance, if you shoot, I used to take 5,000 naira per picture, and I realized that the clients that were coming around me were per picture people. Some of them will even price me three 2,000 per picture. That was how bad it was until when I went back to my drawing board for like a year. I did not come out. I did not pick up a camera. I went back to the drawing board, restructured my business, and I now came up with strong packages, with very strong packages that would facilitate my work. Now, if a client is coming to me, the client is coming to me with the new me that has already been created. So please let us be very careful as to how we structure our pricing. I remember when a client in Lagos called me to cover a wedding, and I told the client 750. The client told me that I should go and work on my pricing. It was that bad. The client told me I should go and work on my pricing because to him I am undercharging. I'm belittling him by telling him 750. Whereas that was what was in my price package. But now the list price in my wedding package is a very heavy one because I know what I am worth. However, you're not really being paid what you're worth, but you are paid something that is close to what you're worth. So let's be guided. Underpricing does not attract better clients. It attracts the worst clients ever. If you know your onions, if you know your niche, if you know your market, if you know what you carry, if you know the amount of skill that you carry, please don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to put out the price. Don't be afraid to charge a client 50,000 per outfit. Don't be afraid to charge a client 100,000 per outfit. So I don't know if we all heard me well. The importance of contracts. Every professional photographer in Nigeria, regardless of whether the client is a close friend, a church, or a major corporation, should work with a signed agreement. Yes. I have a a, a long paged, well structured written document agreement that has about, I think, 15 points that once my client sign, I sign, and my lawyer sign. You understand? I don't joke with contracts. Like my the first payment, my first payment is a non-refundable. The first booking payment, which is 50%, is non-refundable. Like we are not negotiating it in any way. I take in weddings, I take 50, 30, 20. 50% for the booking, 30 a week to the wedding, 20 the moment I send you the link to your pictures, you're sending me my balance. That is how, and it is properly stated in my contract. It is properly stated in my contract. So every professional photographer in Nigeria, regardless of whether the client is a close friend, I don't care who you are. Even my family would sign. The only thing is just that I will be, when it comes to family, I try to balance. But then I will tell you this: business is, if you run business by emotions, you will lose woefully. There is no emotions tied to business at all. There is no emotions tied to business. So, scope of work, payment terms, delivery timeline, image usage rights, responsibilities. Now, I'll say something about the image usage rights. From the moment my camera shutter clicks and I take the shot, I own every right to the picture. The only thing is that, based on contract, if the client does not want me to post yet, I simply obey based on the terms of contract. But generally, the photographer that takes the picture has exclusive rights, to the picture, has absolute exclusive rights to the picture. Go and read the Amendment Acts, and you will see the power. That is why if somebody gets to use my picture for any form of adverts without my consent or knowledge, I sue the person. I sue immediately. So now, what happens if the event is cancelled, rescheduled, or if equipment fails? This is where you apply the element of divine wisdom. Now, for me, I will share my social media handle. I'll share it. Now, for me personally, if a client cancels the event, I am not refunding, because when the moment you booked me, you have booked my time, you've booked everything. My entire loyalty is to you based on your date. Now I could have had another client on that very date, but you booked me first. So that 50% at that point is gone. Now, if the client should reschedule, now that's an extra cost. That is an extra cost. That is an extra cost. If the equipments fail, I am the one to do the refund. I do the refund. I don't know if we all are following. So, building a strong portfolio. Your portfolio is your most powerful sale tool. In Nigeria visual driven market, where clients share Share photographer recommendations via WhatsApp, Instagram, and word of mouth. Your portfolio is often the first impression you make. You make. Make it count. Show only your best work. If you are on Instagram, please, on Instagram, show your best work. Only your best works there. Please, only your best works. Maintain a consistent style in your work. Like I shoot art. So everything you see on my page is art. Reflect your target niche. Prioritize quality over quantity. So, marketing your photography business. You can market a photography business through social media presence, website portfolio, referrals, and networking partnership. Now, my clients have come from referrals. Most of my clients have come from referrals because I did a job for someone and that someone recommended me to somebody. But it does not take away the power of social media presence. It doesn't take away the power of website portfolio. As a matter of fact, professionally, every photographer must have a website where he or she has his or her work displayed. It is the right thing to do. So, client relationship and best practices. In Nigerian photography market, your reputation travels faster than your portfolio. How you treat clients determine whether they come back and whether they send orders to you. This is very important. I've walked into a wedding set where the bride was extremely tensed as a result of our Ashebi people. The bridal train. And there is nothing as tense as when the bridal train is not really catching up to the way the bride wants her day to be. I stepped in. I've been in a wedding where the car that was meant to carry the bride to church was not available. I went downstairs and I saw a random person that was parked at the hotel. I saw that his car was fine. Fine Mercedes E350. I went and pleaded with him. I even tried offering him money to fuel his car, all to ensure that I assist for my bride to be happy. For my bride to be happy. So, maintain a level of response quickly, communicate clearly, deliver on time, exceed expectations. In this country, we are fond of doing what we are told. We are not good at going beyond what we are told. So please deliver quality that makes the client say, this is better than I expected. Satisfied clients become your most effective marketing team. Common mistakes to avoid. Every talented photographer loses clients, damage their reputation, or stall their growth, not because of lack of passion, but because of avoidable mistakes known to them. Please avoid them. Now, technical mistakes that cost you clients: poor lighting, wrong focus, camera shake, cluttered background, over editing. So we all know all that. Business okay King said the audio is slow on his own end. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Wedding photographer. Okay, so Abdul said something. Wedding photographers often post the weddings they covered on social media. Do they always seek permission from their before such postings? As I said, from the moment you take the picture, you have exclusive rights to the picture. However, if the client asks not for their pictures to not to be posted on their page, we must always come to that point of compromise, and we must respect their wishes. That is how we preserve their interests. Do you understand me? It has to be a form of an agreement. So key takeaway, the formula for success: skill, practice. Our left, please practice. Especially those that want to make editing their favorite skill. Please practice. 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 Practice deliberate repetitions. Have a have a strong business mindset. Have a professional workflow. This will help you. When you master both photography technique and business strategy, you transform creativity into a sustainable career. The camera is only the beginning. The knowledge from the presentation is only valuable if you act on it. Here is how you start your journey towards becoming a professional photographer in Nigeria today. Practice the five foundation, build your editing workflow, curate your portfolio, create your first contract, set your rates confidently. Please take note of this. Thank you. So now with this, I can say that we've come to the end of the slide. So I don't know if there are any questions we all want to ask. If there's maybe an experience you people want me to share with you, you know, I've had my own fair share of things as a photographer. As a photographer, I have been jobbed. I have been in a situation where I bidded for the same job, and my fellow photographer was paid way higher than me, but we were still on set. We were on the same set together. What is the difference between me and him? It's not like his jobs were that fantastic, but there was something else. And I checked. I realized that he understood business sense. He understood how to negotiate for more. And he negotiated for more. And he got paid more. Oh. This is my 12th and a half year in photography. And I would damn say that I am proud to be a photographer. I can't think of anything else. It's one of the things that connects me to my creator. So take your photography career, take your photography journey seriously. Thank you so much, sir. I appreciate.
All right. Thank you everyone for joining in. For those that are new, you're welcome once again. Please do well to or remember to complete your assignments and quiz on the Link School app. Right. The assignment has been updated and the quiz has been updated. Please do well to complete them. Complete the previous assignments for the other lessons before the deadline is up. And see you in the next class. All right. Have a good evening and bye bye.